Alright, so if you've made it this far in Windrose, you probably think you've got pirate fights figured out. Yeah, Thomas Richards is here to humble you. This guy isn't just another officer you can rush down and forget about. He hits harder, moves smarter, and punishes every sloppy mistake you make. The moment you walk into this fight, you can feel the difference. It's not about brute force anymore. Richards turns this into a patience game real fast. And here's the thing, even if you've stacked up great gear, that alone won't carry you through this fight. You need to slow things down, read his patterns, and stay disciplined. One greedy hit can cost you big, but don't worry, we're gonna break this fight down step by step. Go over the mindset you need, and I'll show you a few tricks that can make this fight way more manageable. By the end of this, you won't just survive Thomas Richards, you'll control the fight. I'm quickly moving on to the video. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching. If you have made it to the Thomas Richards fight in Windrose, you have probably already noticed this is not your average pirate encounter. Richards is a heavy-hitting brute with a massive club, and he does not give you much room to breathe. Staying too far away is not safe either, because he will start throwing bombs that can keep you out of the fight longer than you would like. The trick here is to stay at a controlled mid-range distance, close enough to bait his melee swings, but not so far that he starts spamming explosives. Watch his attack patterns carefully, dodge with patience, and only go in for hits when you are sure he is recovering from an animation. Now, here is the good news. You do not need to over-level to beat him. Taking him down at level 5 is completely doable, as long as your weapons and armor are also upgraded to level 5. This fight is much more about discipline than raw damage. Do not rush, do not panic, and avoid getting greedy with extra hits. 1 or 2 clean strikes after each dodge will carry you much further than trying to force damage. If you stay consistent and keep your positioning under control, Thomas Richards will eventually go down, and the fight will feel much easier than it first seemed. If you are planning to take Thomas Richards down with melee weapons, the first thing you need is not better gear, it is knowledge. Seriously, do not rush to win right away. Spend a few attempts just watching him. Learn how he moves, how he chains attacks, and what each animation looks like before it lands. Once you start recognizing his patterns, the fight becomes way more manageable and a lot less chaotic. One of the most dangerous things in his kit is the unblockable overhead slam. He often uses this at the end of his attack chains, but do not get too comfortable because he can mix things up. The key here is patience. Do not assume the combo is over too early. Stay alert, wait for the full sequence to finish, then move in. Then, there is his long melee combo, and this is where things can go downhill fast. If you get clipped by the first hit, there is a good chance he will follow up with multiple strikes that can lock you in place. That stun lock can end your run quickly if you are not careful. Your best defense here is simple. Do not get hit in the first place. Respect his range and always be ready to dodge out. Another move you absolutely need to recognize is his unblockable grab attack. He gives you a clear signal for this one. He steps back and raises his left hand before charging straight at you. As soon as you see that, get ready. Wait until he is close, then dash to the side twice. Timing matters here, so do not panic and dodge too early. Now let us talk about his bombs, because keeping your distance is not always safe. If you stay too far away, Richards will start throwing explosives your way, and they cover a surprisingly large area. The best way to deal with this is either to sprint away completely or dodge multiple times towards his back to escape the blast radius. Either way, do not stand still and hope for the best. When it comes to actually dealing damage, parrying is your best friend in this fight. Well-timed blocks will reduce his posture and eventually open up a window where you can land free hits. If parrying feels too risky, you can still play it safe by dodging toward or to the sides of him. Staying close limits his bomb usage and keeps you in a good position to chip away at his health. Stay calm, stay consistent, and the fight will start to feel under control. When it comes to melee, your build matters more than you might think. Go all in on vitality and stack as much health as possible through food. Yes, your damage per second will drop a bit, but you can balance that out by using an elixir of cruelty and picking passive skills that boost your weapon damage by percentage. This setup gives you way more room for mistakes, which is exactly what you need in a fight like this. Mechanically, this fight really tests your timing. Try to master parrying because it makes a huge difference. Pay close attention to both his animations and the sound cues before each attack. If you are struggling, do not ignore healing management either. Keep plenty of healing potions ready and assign them to an easy-to-reach hotbar slot so you are never scrambling when things get intense. There is also a small but important mechanic you should take advantage of. When you take damage, part of your health becomes temporal health. You can recover that by hitting the boss, so do not panic immediately after getting hit. If you have the retribution skill from the right side of the skill tree, this becomes even stronger, letting you recover more health through aggressive follow-ups. Just make sure you pick your moments carefully instead of swinging wildly. At the end of the day, this fight is all about patience and consistency. Wait for Thomas Richards to finish his attack chains, land 2 or 3 clean hits, then back off and reset. Repeat that rhythm until he goes down. If it still feels overwhelming, there is no shame in lowering the difficulty for now. Also, if you are using a one-handed weapon, do not forget your pistol for extra pressure. And before going in, it might be worth exploring Foothill's points of interest for better gear, since you can still equip higher tier loot even if you have not unlocked the region fully yet. If you are not a fan of getting up close and risking those heavy hits, the ranged approach is a much safer alternative. Grab a gun, keep your distance, and turn the fight into a battle of patience. Before you even step into the arena, make sure you are fully prepared. You will need a solid stockpile of homemade gunpowder, plenty of copper bullets, and a reliable musket. Aim for at least 100 shots so you do not run out mid-fight. Getting copper is the easy part. Head over to coastal jungle islands and explore the caves you find there. Mine every ore you see and you will quickly gather enough materials. Better quality ammunition does more than just increase damage, it also improves accuracy, which makes landing consistent headshots on Thomas Richards much easier. Gunpowder, on the other hand, takes a bit more effort. At this stage of the game, your best option is farming pirate camps. Defeating hostile pirates gives you a chance to loot gunpowder, and you can also find it inside supply bags scattered around their camps. It might take a few runs, but it is worth stocking up properly before attempting the boss. There is also a key farming spot you should not ignore. During Thomas Richards' questline, you will come across a large Blackbeard outpost built into ancient ruins. Clearing this area is not only part of your progression, but it is also one of the best places to gather homemade gunpowder. As long as you can handle the enemies inside, this location can set you up nicely. For your weapon, you ideally want a reliable musket. This blue tier rifle stands out because of its faster reload speed, which makes a big difference in a long fight like this. If you cannot find one, do not worry too much. The Buccaneer's Friend rifle you get from completing the Glorious Hunter's quest is still good enough to get the job done. Once everything is ready, the strategy is as simple as it sounds. Keep your distance and keep shooting. It is not the fastest way to win, and the fight might take a while, but it is one of the safest methods. Stay patient, maintain your spacing, and you can take Thomas Richards down without ever putting yourself in serious danger. If you are going with a ranged build, your attributes should reflect that. Put all your points into precision to maximize your damage output, then use food to cover your survivability. You do not need to be tanky, but you do need enough health to survive his grab attack, since that is the one move that can instantly end your run if you are underprepared. Before you start the fight, do yourself a favor and place a tent right outside the boss arena. Set it as your active respawn point so you can jump back into the fight quickly after a failed attempt. This saves a lot of time and keeps you in the flow, which actually helps you learn the fight faster without frustration building up. Food is also a big part of your preparation. Spicy chicken with sweet potato is one of the best early game options for a large health boost, and it is fairly easy to make using dodo meat, cayenne peppers, and sweet potatoes. You can pair that with something like hearty egg broth to boost your main damage stat, especially if you are scaling with agility. These small optimizations add up and make the fight much more manageable. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.